Crbnly conversation.
Quick question. Is this the podcast? Are we doing the podcast right now?
All right. Are the mics on? Mic check.
Check. Here we go.
There we go. Here we go. Welcome back, everyone. Another episode of Crbnly Conversations. It's your boy Shane. Got our other boy Chad here with us.
I
know
it.
It feels like it's been forever. So we apologize if we're ahead of time, if we're a little rusty at this.
Yeah, we needed a good Crbnly cleanse.
Definitely.
Personally and privately. So here we are, back again.
Definitely. Yep. So, I mean, if this is your first time listening, we just want to let you know that Crbnly Conversations is a podcast where friends examine the intersection of community, lifestyles, and consumption in our lives. We've created this in a hope to share our stories and curiosity to motivate anyone out there listening to lessen our carbon footprint. And we want to use our platform to create a space for listeners and community members to share their Crbnly journeys as well.
Mm-hmm.
And we've made it very easy for you to follow us. We're on Instagram, X, TikTok, you name it, we're there. We also have our YouTube channel where we try to post the conversations in video. So if you're a visual person, just go to YouTube, type in Crbnly Conversations, and you'll be able to check out our video episodes there as well. And if you're just a listener, all you need to do is scroll down to the show notes, click on Find and Join the Conversation, and that'll give you access to listen to this episode plus all of our catalog on any platform that you use. So very easy. Check us out. Comment, like, support us. We appreciate it.
Give us a review, subscribe, just be Crbnly, all that.
Yep. Definitely. So we're back. You've probably heard us talk about our focus is to really give information, share information that we learn about, that we read, for us to have Crbnly lives. And you've heard us speak multiple times about thrifting and buying used products, things like that. So this is kind of where we're at today, with a new article that Chad shared with me a few weeks ago from the Washington Post. It was written by Michael J. Coren, but basically it's titled "Why You Should Buy Everything Used." So
Bill Michael, I think, for the article, for 30 days, he attempted to just do that. Everything he needed, consumed, bought for 30 days, I believe a month or so. He bought, looked for it, used, and then he goes and described it. Like, before we kind of get into a little bit more of our own journey of use, I have been, I don't know what the right phrase is, like giggling a little bit, because when you look at the top of the article, it's climate coach. And it's
I saw that.
And he's a climate advice columnist, and I know we've referenced probably his and other like Watch Posts and other like New York Times like climate advice articles as like a topic. But just want to kind of get your reaction to that and what we're doing, and would really love to hear from our listeners. Well, like, does Crbnly fill that climate coach need, or is it just a easy way to categorize something on the internet? I don't know. I'm still giggling a little bit.
I mean, I definitely, especially after reading the article, I feel like it's just kind of what we talk about, but in written form. Like, he made it very personable, as far as like listing out the items he was looking for. He gave a little bit of data, background, talks about tech. There's a nice mix of solutions and different options in this article. So, I mean, I guess we would call ourselves climate podcasters. I mean, we're definitely or in that area, but we need to figure out a cooler name, I guess. And we kind of
Yeah.
are climate coaches, I would say, because
Yeah.
we're giving advice and things like
Yeah.
that. So
We do fill that space for many of our listeners that have reached out and shared that. And I giggle not like rude or derogatory, just like it's just kind of funny on how like everything's got to get labeled like that, and coaching's a big deal. Like I mean, I built a career around coaching and supporting others professionally
yeah,
as a people leader, and I mean, there's just so much information, and it's easier to get coached than to have to like parse through it yourself. We just want to like recognize that. So maybe like we'll start using our own hashtag Crbnly coach, climate
yeah,
coach.
yep.
Maybe that's our new you know, after this spring renewal and refresh for the last month of our break, maybe we were coaching ourselves and we're ready to go at it. But anyway, Shane, buying used for a whole month. Could you, would you, have you even tried that?
I haven't specific. So the first thing that popped in my head when I read that title was like, man, I hope he doesn't need new underwear because
Yeah.
anybody that's ever been to like the thrift store knows like that kind of like weird aisle where it's like all used. Nowadays, the thrifts have more new products, but like specifically in the 90s, like there was always that aisle where it was just like tidy whities hung up on a hanger, and you're just like, why would somebody buy those? No offense to anyone out there that does buy them
Yeah.
and needs to for financial
Yeah.
reasons, but
Yeah. That's a tough one. That's a tough
yeah.
one.
But I don't specifically do challenges like this, but it would be kind of fun. But I do find myself now, um, outside of food, I do find myself looking for a used option before going to the store. So more specifically, I'm looking to get a new couch. And right now I'm holding off because I'm just looking like on Facebook Marketplace
Sure.
to see if eventually, the couch that I like will pop up. So I'm not in a rush. So fortunately I have time to make that decision, but I
Yeah.
do think
I
it's
think,
really cool what he's doing.
yeah, I think that's the key point that you just said there. I think for myself and my memories and also others I know have done this is having the time and taking the time to search used first. It does kind of diminish that feeling of immediate like buyer satisfaction or like
Yeah.
consumer satisfaction that we've all had run through our endorphin chains. But like there's no other way to go around it. And that was, I think, the other thing that to go around, like you gotta wait because probably the right used thing at a really available or attractive price exists. It just takes a little time to find it. And that's what I found most intriguing about what this climate coach and article was sharing is that a lot of places like ThreadUp, Goodwill, Amazon, Renewed, like
Hmm.
they're things I wasn't quite familiar with, and we'll definitely like post those in the section for you listeners to click into. But they've brought in the robots to make that easier to post everything.
Yeah.
And now you can just like save your Google searches for these topics and click and highlight I'm looking for it in Google Shopping used and just revisit that search from time to time or put an alert on that search. And all of a sudden, like for Shane, there's the couch that he wants that matches
Right.
the rug that ties in the room, and then the curtains that you're gonna upgrade because it'll be spring. And all you had to do is let the robots do it, and someone needed to get rid of it, and now you're spending a third of the price.
Yeah. Especially with Marketplace, once you search for something, that goes into the algorithm. So now every time someone posts a couch within my area, it's going to
And,
show up on my main feed of Marketplace without me actually having to search couch. So
and
the
you're a big
robots are
fan
making
of,
it easy.
yeah, the robots are making, and you're a big fan of Facebook Marketplace, right? So what's your experience been like that or on that? Like, have you had weird interactions, or you just like, this is just a place to shop?
Yeah, I mean, as a buyer, it's definitely less stressful because you're kind of just reaching out, like that. Like I'm the type of person, if I ask the seller, like, hey, is this still available? Like, I have all intentions of buying it. But when I sell products, it gets stressful because you've got a bunch of people asking, is this available? You say yes, they never respond again. You know what I mean? And then, of course, with anything else online, you're dealing with like scammers. So like the quick way to find out the scammers on Marketplace is like if they just started their page this year, and if they ask you for your phone number, that that's a scam. But otherwise it's fun. I enjoy it. You get to meet new people in the community because like I'll usually do when I sell something, I'll do door pickup, so they actually come to my house, which I don't recommend for everyone, but I feel kind of safe. I think I'm a good reader of people's character. So like if I get a weird vibe from them in their messages, maybe I'll do like a public meetup type of sell.
Sure,
But
sure.
but
Well,
yeah,
there's
I'm a big advocate of it.
extra work, right? So if you go to Target, let's just pick on Target. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff because the
Nope.
brand, the people, the experience. But you're also buying brand new. You're consuming and creating a demand for new brand new stuff, which
Mm-hmm.
I think what it said is like $3 trillion is the U.S. market of brand consumption of brand new products a year, which
Yep.
no small number to shake at. That would, if we could put it in a different way, Shane, every American didn't consume anything for a whole year. And we took all that money to pay off our national debt. We'd
Mm-hmm.
only we'd pay off a third of our national debt because I think our
Right.
national debt's around that $7 to $9 trillion.
Yep.
It may be way more. I can't remember, but that's my last memory.
But
But even
still,
if it was
just I mean,
like that's how impactful it is. I mean, our GDP would go like this. Everyone would freak out. What do people really want? What do we produce? It will be good for the economic cycles, but as a mind exercise, it's a useful tool.
yeah.
But that's what I think I found most interesting with the robots, like using technology and AI to like Goodwill Finds is a place I didn't know existed, but that's
Same.
their ability to throw, like if we go drop off a bag or boxes at Goodwill, there's now it's not a human. The human will
Mm-hmm.
sort some of it, but they scan it all, and then within 7 seconds, they said they
Yeah.
can put the shirt that I have on, recognize it, tag it, photo it, and post it. Like
Yep.
they didn't go into like how they know where the shirt is and then how it gets logistically shipped and packaged and shipped. But they're doing it. They're
And
selling a lot of
that
goods on this stuff.
technology was called Hammock, HAMMOQ, um, which is a game changer. Not only to help the thrifts, like I guess identify valuable things that they can sell online, but they also, prior to this technology, being that humans had to sort through it, and we're talking about humans that are probably making minimum wage, don't have that much of an urge to be like, oh, I want to pick the good quality things for our store to sell. So I think it mentioned like prior to that, only about 10% of things donated were making it to the actual shelves on
Yeah,
the store because they
yeah,
just can't keep up with it, and then the rest
yeah,
ended up in the landfill.
yeah. There were some horrid pictures of a place in Chile where secondhand clothes went to die.
Yeah.
I don't even want to describe it. It wasn't. It didn't make me feel good. It made me even more curious about this push this drive to think about starting used. And I think if we just stopped the conversation right now, Shane, I think the thing that what I would want everyone to be left with is Google, Amazon, Goodwill,
Hmm.
StubHub, and others have used technology to make it a lot easier for you to have an online shopping experience similar to the ones that you do for new stuff
Yep.
to look for used stuff. Like I think that's the headline here. It's like the robots have made it easy to shop for used and have a good experience like you shop for new. And that game changer. So
Yeah, and it's slowly creeping into the actual brick and mortar stores for certain brands. Like a guy that volunteers with Franklinton Farms. He one day he had on like some really nice shoes, and I was like, "Man, where'd you get those at?" And he said that REI, which is like a outdoor camping type apparel store, now has a used section to where when people bring back shoes, or I don't know if there's some type of buyback campaign as well, but basically they have a slightly used, slightly worn section, and he got them for a pretty good discounted rate. And I know other big brands like Patagonia, Allbirds, H&M are starting to have like buyback programs where they'll actually buy back the used product and sell those online.
So have you done that before? Because I have, like, but not with clothing, but on like appliances and electronics. And here's my experiences. If it's in that refurbished or guaranteed new used, like they had to go through the whole thing.
Yeah, they're actually better than new produces most of the time.
Cheaper. Yeah, especially
and
like
cheaper.
a washer dryer or like some like major. I mean, all the ovens, that I tried to buy, like, that's where it's at. If you can't find it like from Facebook Marketplace or a garage sale. Or, I mean, I'm gonna date myself, but like Craigslist.
Craigslist. That's what I was gonna say. Like Craigslist and like eBay are like the OGs of the resale space, and then of course garage and yard sales.
Yeah,
but you don't hear them mentioned as much. They definitely are still alive, but there's just so many other options now that you don't really hear them. So shout out to Craigslist and eBay. I've definitely purchased a lot of things on those two sites.
Cheap brands will never go away because of their usefulness, but maybe never ever reach their heyday of popularity.
Yep,
like they did in the early aughts.
And it's cool that how popular it is. So like it in the article it referenced global data. So they had some data from global data, and it said in the past year roughly half of Americans have bought used clothing. So that's a huge change. I was in the thrift store a couple weeks ago, and there was like two teenage kids in there, definitely in high school. And I mean, it was kind of funny to see them in there. They're looking at every shirt, just trying to find something unique. And I mean, they both had at least 5 or 6 shirts in their hand that they were going to purchase already. So it's just kind of cool. It was like, people that, when I was in high school, it wasn't cool to shop at the thrift store, at least in my neighborhood,
Yeah.
So it's kind of like we paved the way for these kids to, it's fashionable. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And trendy, and you can, like, a business, right?
Yeah.
So you and I have experienced this together, and I share this because I can't remember, the last week or so, Laura and I were in a thrift store. I think it was Mike and my daughter came to visit. The Lower East Side, we went to the store, and I was looking at Lauren, and I was like, "When's the last time you went shopping and bought something? Not used, but like in the spirit of used." It's been a while, Like, I was like, "Same here," but then it's like, "But that's not true. We did that all the time in Louisville, because Louisville has like all those antique thrift, like Fleur de Fleet.
Yep.
But those are curated." So,
right.
Like, if those kids that you saw at the thrift store, like, hypercycling, I think, remember we were in Germantown and there was that like t-shirt shop and record store, and I guarantee their business models, they go to the giant Goodwills and other places and they buy them for $2 to $3, but they go through to see what's trendy and unique or just weird or whatever they think they can sell for 25. I mean, there's a vintage one. I think that would be the phrasing that they have over in Union Square, and it's just rock t-shirts that you can't get. You can get like Nirvana in Utero, right? An original one. That's like $180. Like, it's collectability, brand recognition, but that's definitely a business outside of that.
People are even going overseas now. So like, there's a guy that I randomly going overseas to buy things. So like I'll try to find it before we post this and put it in the link. But there's a guy that I think he owns a vintage shop like in San Francisco, but
Okay.
he'll go to like Vietnam, he'll go to like all these other countries because they get so much of the stuff from America like don't ship there. So now they're even up on the trend in those countries where they're like, oh, I can sell this old, Run DMC t-shirt for, equivalent to their money for $10 to $20. So then that guy's over there, he's buying hundreds of shirts, bringing them back to his store and selling. I mean, some of these shirts are worth $400 or $500 if they're like the original concert shirts.
Well, as you said, Run DMC, rest in peace, Mr. Jam Master Jay.
Yeah.
Did you see the news alert this week that
Yeah. Yep.
it's like his godson?
Yep. Yeah.
Anyways,
Sad.
rest in peace, buddy. Yeah, super sad. But yeah, to your point, like this buying used is not just a fad; it's also a business case
Mhm.
from the consumer to an actually like also from an entrepreneur, right? And going back to the original intent of this guy's article, is like, let me do this for a month and see how hard it is.
Yeah.
With that growth in both those spaces, it's just like, again, like my headline is like, I'm gonna when I'm shopping for things, I'm gonna look in those, use the Google tools, use the shopping tools for the use filter versus
Yeah.
the way I segmented it before. It's like, well, I could probably get this used, and this is where I would do it and trust it. And now I'm like, I don't even have to look anywhere else other than to some shopping search engine.
Exactly. And it's funny, because you and I are friends on Facebook too. And whenever you post you're selling some type of pizza kit, so it shows me that because we're friends. It shows like Chad's selling it. So how has your experience been? Like, have you ever actually have you ever sold anything?
So yeah, multiple times, and back to the whole Craigslist. Like I would sell things on Craigslist, mainly in that spirit of reduce, reuse, and recycle. Like, and there's a couple times in my life where inherit's too strong a word, absorbed through attrition. Like when I moved into this house I was going to live in for a while, and part of the deal was like I would clean it up and clean it out. Like I actually emptied all the stuff that had some type of intrinsic, like monetary value through Craigslist, either like come and get it or $20, $30, and went through that exercise. Helps some of my friends downsize their stuff, and then value chains. And so I've done that semi-regularly through Craigslist, especially like, let's say 10 to 15 years ago and beyond. And then in the last like 5 years, I've used Facebook Marketplace because I think it's the most ingenious. It's like a global garage sale, right?
Yep.
And in Louisville, there's things I would sell or look for. So I have, but like not a lot. But the last couple of things we've done, especially here in New York, like it just, unless it's an electronic, like I don't think anyone wants it. Like that.
Yeah, New York. Yeah. New Yorkers are a little.
Well, then, like for us, it was a space thing. It was nice. It was brand new. I would have kept it by a house to put it somewhere. Because we'd use the stone. That was the other thing. Our oven's smaller, so the stone was too big to even fit to use in our oven. So it's like, But as a parent, I don't know if you've noticed this growing up. Go over your mom's house, and all of a sudden you come back with more shit than you went there with somehow.
Always, yeah.
I got to return that favor because when my daughter was visiting, I was like, she got the pizza stone.
Oh, nice. Make sure you take it down off of Marketplace, because with the luck, somebody will message you like, "Hey, I'll come get it right now," and they're like, "Oh, sorry, I already got rid of it."
Yeah, I think through the app, Facebook Messenger, it allows you to delist it. Which I think it did. So, but yeah, good call out.
Yeah, my process when I'm kind of, because I'm definitely trying to like declutter. With us combining homes, like we just have a lot of stuff. So like,
Yeah.
fortunately, I have a basement. So what I do, my method is like, when we figure out, oh, we don't want this anymore, I'll take some pictures of it, post it on Marketplace, and then I'll be like, okay, I'll let it sit for a month in the basement. If it doesn't sell by then, I'll go donate it,
Got it.
to
So you got
the
like
to the
a
thrift.
process.
Right. So it's like, let me at least try to make a few dollars off of it first. If I don't, then I'll just go ahead and donate
How do
it
you
or
decide
something.
what to price it?
I don't do much research. I price things. I probably price things too low, but I just try to make them. I just figure like, hey, if I can get $5 out of something that I'm willing to go give for free right now to the thrift store, why not get that $5
Why
out
not?
of it?
Fair enough. I'm kind of like in that. It's like I would like it to go to good use, and
Right.
if I've already used it, I already got my use out of it. So what's a fair price to move it along versus maximize profit, right?
Yeah.
It's the profit model monetary. I am gonna share this, and I hope we both laugh at this. So our friend Ben, you've met Ben,
Mm-hmm.
and um, the last time we were, I think Facebook messaging or chatting about something, and then we had to FaceTime and we caught up for a little bit. He's like, "What the hell's going on with Shane? Is he like moving and selling all this shit? Like, because I just keep seeing all this
Because he
stuff."
has me on Facebook. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like he just asked it in such a funny way. It's like, and then it made me wonder, like, what is going on with
Yeah.
Shane? I haven't talked to you for a while, so like, is there something changing?
That's
And
funny.
now your story about the things in the basement, it's like I can now envision Shane or vision you like, oh, let's just go through and post a whole bunch of stuff on Facebook and see what happens. Get rid of this
Yep.
stuff.
Yep.
So Ben, if you're listening,
I'm okay,
mystery
man. I'm
resolved.
not. Yeah, I didn't lose my house. Everything's going fine. I
That's so funny.
appreciate you checking in, but
Uh,
I guess we can
close
end
with
it
that.
off. So, like at the end of the article, it looks like he spoke with Sandra Goldmark, which she works at the Columbia University's climate school, which I didn't know
Oh
that
yeah,
existed either. But
yeah.
she had a good quote where she she redefined her own relationship with things, and her quote was, "Have good stuff, not too much, mostly reclaimed." And I slowly find myself kind of going by that mantra myself. I still haven't figured out the underwear situation, but
Yeah.
you know, um, I think it's a good thing to live by.
I think that's a solid way to end it and a very strong mantra. I mean, just it's how you make it through tough times. And if everyone looks around the world right now and says, well, this isn't a tough time, I'd like to meet this highly optimistic person because
Yeah,
I'm pretty optimistic and I struggle. So
same.
let's maybe repeat that mantra. What is it?
Have good stuff, not too much, mostly reclaimed. Maybe that'll be the title of this episode.
Yeah, I I think we'll fit that in there.
So
Awesome.
thanks
Well,
for
Shane,
listening, guys.
definitely. Thanks for listening. Shane, you have a good rest of your day. Decent hunt, Steel.
Yes, sir.